Rosa Parks, the most iconic woman in the civil rights movement and the most profound civil rights activist of the 1950s. She was an African American and a dedicated Christian who spent her early adult life in Montgomery, Alabama, and her later years in Detroit, Michigan. Rosa worked as a seamstress for most of her life. However, her and her husband Raymond struggled financially for their whole lives. She was a shy and quiet lady who hardly said a bad word about anyone. Rosa was an average black in the South. Whites had more rights than she did. Rosa believed in equality and disliked how whites had more rights than blacks, yet no one expected her to stand up for what she believed in the manner that she did. The year is 1955. Elvis Presley was selling records and performing all over the U.S., and Marilyn Monroe and Lucille Ball were popular and seen all over U.S. televisions. The spotlight was on whites. They were popular, rich, and had all the rights. In a time where blacks had little to say in the South, Rosa felt defeated. There was little she could do without being punished. She wanted to make sure people knew that she did not want to be treated this way. This inspired her to do something that would change U.S. history. On December 1st, 1955, Rosa Parks took a stand by refusing to get out of her seat on a Montgomery bus. A white bus driver ordered her to get out of her seat, but she told him no. She was arrested by the Montgomery police. This caught the attention of many because Rosa was manhandled and pushed around by the police. At the time, she was in her mid-40s, and it was impolite to manhandle a 40-year-old woman. This action caused the community of Montgomery to protest. Under the leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King, the public started the Montgomery bus boycott, which was a 381-day-long protest where blacks of Montgomery refused to ride the buses. When this protest ended, Rosa Parks and Dr. King worked together. Soon after, the government found that the law was unconstitutional. Blacks were no longer forced to give up their seats. Her act of disobedience influenced many more civil rights protests to come. Soon after the Montgomery bus boycott was over, there were few people in the world that did not know the story of Rosa Parks. When she was arrested in 1955, it caught the attention of the world. Take Claudette Colvin as an example. She was a black 15-year-old who refused to stand up when she was told to, and a few months before Parks did, on a Montgomery bus. However, due to her young age, no action was ever taken, and she was simply arrested. Yet due to Rosa Parks' quiet nature, her story spread worldwide. After the boycott was over and long past, Parks, King, and E.D. Nixon continued fighting for rights. They were also a part of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or more commonly known as the NAACP. After King's death, she moved to Detroit. She lived her elderly life there. She wrote many books, spent time with children, and attended church every week. Many people know the story of Rosa Parks, a black Southern lady who said no to a bus driver. Yet most people forget how dangerous it was for a black to stand up to a white. Only on occasion would a black stand up to a white. Rosa was a 40-year-old woman. People knew Rosa as a soft-spoken lady who never said anything bad about anyone, and yet she had the courage to say no to a white person. Her disobedience gave the blacks of Montgomery confidence, and the blacks of the U.S. hope. With one word, Rosa Parks was able to turn the city of Montgomery upside down. She became a U.S. icon and a role model to many. She was considered an angel to blacks and a devil to whites. She inspired many blacks to stand up for themselves. Her polite nature and her joyful personality attracted fans across the world. She is a U.S. hero for many and an international symbol of joy, persistence, and courage. Her act impacted U.S. history, remembered by all and missed by many.